Well, tonight the results are in. WCNC Charlotte's coal ash samples from near an Iredell County daycare are now showing concerning levels of carcinogens, one of which has elevated radioactivity. Now, we broke that news last night as part of the latest update in our buried investigation.
And today, our reporting continues to create an impact here. WCNC Charlotte's Nate Morabito joining us now. It was late, obviously, that report, Nate, so we want to go after this today. Your results here from near Tudor Time of Mooresville, they came in. The daycare is now moving forward, it sounds like, with an overhaul of its playground.
Yeah, this is new today. Our samples taken close to the surface of a nearby public median found risky and unacceptable levels of arsenic and radioactivity, much higher than what's in the ground naturally. In the daycare's latest message to parents, Tudor Times director said while experts have reassured them children are not at risk, the daycare is taking additional steps in the name of safety, security, and peace of mind.
While kids sat on top of and possibly even dug in Tudor Time of Mooresville's dirt,
that's our detector.
Scientists inside Duke University's environmental labs studied the coal ash collected just across the street from the daycare and found what they expected: continued cause for concern.
A cocktail of toxic elements.
State records show Tudor Time is built on top of coal ash, a mixture of tiny toxic particles that can become airborne and over time expose kids to potential illnesses and cancers that can take years to surface.
Having chronically exposed to dust and even direct into the mouth could be really problematic for the health of those children.
Dr. Avner Vengosh says the closer this coal ash is to the surface, the greater the risk.
I would very much be concerned.
Duke Energy legally sold coal ash decades ago to use as construction fill dirt. To this day, the utility insists it's not toxic.
The proof on the ground saying otherwise.
Our samples aren't the only ones raising concerns. Earth Justice recently alerted the Environmental Protection Agency of similar results taken from the same median that also showed elevated levels of arsenic and radium. The radioactivity in their samples registered an even higher number. The nonprofit environmental law organization wrote, since the state regulatory response is not adequate to protect public health, Earth Justice implored the EPA to provide immediate oversight, guidance, and leadership. The North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality recently helped with a visual inspection of the daycare, which Tudor Times said found no risk to children.
You're not walking on coal ash.
Despite sharing those words during an August Tudor Times staff meeting and preparing to eventually question our results,
if they found something, number one, I would question their methods.
Pictures suggest the coal ash has made its way to the surface multiple times over the years, not buried deep enough as required.
Did Tudor Time ever tell you about the coal ash that was there?
No, it was never mentioned.
Parents previously told us, until our investigation, the daycare never disclosed Tudor Time was built on top of coal ash, leaving this mother and others terrified about the potential impact.
Very, very afraid.
After we pointed out what looked like exposed coal ash near the playground fence, Tudor Time hired crews to cover it.
The idea that leave it as is, it's not an option.
But scientists have said the safest option would be to excavate and remove the coal ash altogether. While it's unclear Tudor Time's specific plans, the daycare is now telling parents it is planning a complete playground renovation, completed in coordination with the requirements set forth by the expert environmental geologists.
And that work will begin as soon as possible. Tudor Time told us the renovation will meet all state and local regulations and said the daycare will work with the state to ensure the kids remain safe throughout. This all comes as Tudor Time awaits test results of its own from more than 30 samples collected within the property. When those results are back, the daycare has said a toxicologist will review them, and you can bet we will continue to ask questions to make sure those kids are safe.
This just continues to get deeper and darker. So while you're on the case, Nate, we appreciate that.